Welcome to the Crypto Day morning for today, which is that of Wednesday, the 4th day of July, 2018. And like always, all risk associated with any trades, your own risk, own reward. For me, risk reward, portfolio management, always job number one. With the Bitcoin price, it went down a little bit yesterday, going up a bit, but a couple days just hanging in there within the newly barely rising 18 average, meaning it's been in a downtrend. It's an attempt to not only end the down cycle, but at least take a move and start an uptrend, or at least the next target area would be breaking above the 7,000 handle. I got a line in at 7130. To me, that looks like a 38.2% retracement. I think that's what I put in. This, of course, would be 23.6. So it's doing what it's supposed to do, at least at this time frame. Stop going higher. Now, it originally came up to this point on June the 30th, and then it was a pause day, and then a little bit of a higher move. And we look at this on the 3-hour time frame. Well, there's your move pierced below on the 29th. And if I always mention stuff, it usually pierces extra. Remember when I say that, for the most part, these are always things priced in Bitcoin. And generally speaking, yeah, I think this one would usually too, but it comes to this area, and even then, if you've got this level in, you're adjusting the message of the market, well, by where I'm scrolling over in the middle of this range, even earlier than the middle, well, that counted as that area. You established that as a key first-time hit point. So this is a second-time hit point, and it has first supported this area. Now it's in the attempt of resisting it, but the correction that occurred last night came back down to the previous level of resistance markets. When you are making uptrends, downtrends, that's where you expect the leg or the correctionary up and down moves to be, where it came from. So this correctionary down move did thus far successfully do such, but it's still within the 3-hour. Got to work within this 18 average in here, which is in its sideways correctionary mode. It's already established this level of resistance at around 66.75, 66.5 area. And like always, in situations where you break key points, you'd be looking for the next level. Of course, I put that in around the 71 area. And of course, if this thing ends up resisting, we'll be like, okay, let's do a test from this low in here. And obviously, we're in this bear market setup that it's got to make that big decision soon, of course, for 3,000 or anything to revert the trend, which, of course, long term, this thing moves wildly like the whole crypto space does. As far as the markets in general, how they're concerned, let's take a quick look at coin market cap. And we can see Bitcoin, pretty much break even, as is Ethereum. Ripple, really barely down. Everything, Cardano, ADA, it's like one of the bigger movers, and 4.4% is nothing. And of course, within the top codes, you're going to get the lower volatile moves amongst a lot of these coins. But when I'm looking at number 25 and I'm only seeing 4% mover, there's the second one with the coin I'm really not a fan of at all, because I get spammed with this one all the time, so I don't even want to consider anything with it. I spammed in the comment section, that is, and they always get filtered out now, so it's really easy. But a lot of these things not doing too much. The status network, which I am planning, I'm not planning on talking about. I already did recently. SNT, I'm planning on talking about DNT. DNT, SNT, I get those confused because they have similar names. SYS coin, I'm going to be planning on talking about that. In fact, I'm going to be bringing this up pretty soon, but not yet. But this is what SYS coin looks like in the Satoshi field against Bitcoin on the Bittrex exchange. Currently in at about 3,700. It was up to about 54. On the Binance exchange, it got up to, 98 handle, 0.0. We really have a hard time counting it. But before that move, I really have to do something like this. And I can see that after the fact that the high on this was 21,000, nowhere near 5,000. It's currently trading in at 3,702. Which is basically the same price here at 36.5. And at the time when the prices were different, the developers asked on the Bittrex wallet to put it offline. It was a developer request, and there was a lot of, we'll say, participant manipulation, I guess, is the easiest way to put it, because I noticed earlier in the day when I had a situation of placing buy and sell orders that I wasn't able to do so. For I managed to make a sell in here, which wasn't that great of a sell. It was at this previous level of high at the 670-ish area. But I went to put my orders in, and it said that I couldn't do so. It was because the system was in a maintenance mode. And I'm really not happy about the fact that when a market is in maintenance, that one cannot delete buy and sell orders. For it's unfair for one to be able to have an order in, the market's off, and sometime later it's going to go on and they have a order in that's really reluctant on the price, especially for short-term traders, as well as those who are really concerned about price action, where if they have a sell order, say at 1,000, prices say 900, and then over the time it goes up to like 11, 1,200, then they're going to get a bad deal. And of course, if you know about it, then that to me, I think they should be able to do that. But either way, they did shut the trading down, or they did suspend the markets, which of course they should do. A lot of it has to do with API, which is electronic numbers. I've never done anything like that. I don't even know how it works. But the statement they put up states the following. Irregular trades were detected from another of API users triggering or our internal risk management system. As such, Binance made a timely decision to suspend trading, withdrawals, and other functions, as well as, of course, as order changes. We have since taken the following actions related to the incident, and I'm not going to go over this, but again, I don't even do any of these APIs. They said, for users who are negatively affected by choosing to trade the rising SYS price, Binance will offer zero free trading between this time frame. And if you traded SYS during the incident and believe you were negatively affected, please open a support ticket. And for other Binance users, we offer a 70% rebate on the trading fees. And I really want to talk about trading fees because I was obviously positively affected by the situation, but I had no idea this was going on, nor do I need to with my strategy, because my strategy really only cares about the numbers, because price only pays. Because when you think about their fees, especially like myself, and I hope most people that trade on there, because 0.05% is the fees when you use Binance. And even if you don't, it's still only doubled that to 0.1. That's still an amazing deal. 1% on $1,000 is 10, which isn't that much, which 0.1 is 5. Or, yeah, $10 for 1% point, or $1 for 0.1. That's it. So you're talking pennies to trade $1,000. And I didn't even trade anywhere near that, of course, on the SYS. I traded many hundreds of dollars worth, but enough where I was able to get into a new code. But within DNT, that's when I see these moves, I sold up here, I bought back here. I sold up here, I bought back here. I sold up here. If it comes back in this range again, I'll buy again. And when we look at the SYS that I was trading on, which was crossed against the Binance coin, I wasn't even really thinking about the X gain that it was getting. Because what I was doing, I'm going to put my ticker symbol of all my codes on here, is I had all the codes on here. Now, I didn't have this on my ticker symbol then. I added it there after the fact last night. But I had SYS forward cross to BTC. It's got more data. And, of course, against the Bittrex index, because, well, it's got if Bittrex and another site has that, like, say, Binance, if Bittrex has an extra year or many months of data, I'm going to put the Bittrex one on here because it's better for analyzing charts for me that way. But I was overwhelmed, or not overwhelmed, but I was just noticing, oh, it's up like 80%. Wow, 70, 90%. Then I see it pull back, it's up 50%. Oh, so I'm like, okay, that's normal when markets go big. You're not expecting 15, 20% moves. But here I am making these situations where I'm seeing the market, I might as well use a 5-minute time frame. Here I'm seeing the market in this stage when it was having this correctionary test. As it's rising higher, oh, where do I put my sell order? And I calculate the level from here to here, and that represents the 70 number, which is where I put my sell order in. But I never really thought about what the percentage gain was when earlier in the day I was selling at like 12 handle and 13 handle, at least my first order. So I never was thinking at the time, man, this is like a 4x gain. This is pretty wild. I never really thought about it until I kind of realized what was going on. That Bittrex had the much different price, wallet offline, all that kind of stuff. But when they talk about those who were trading negatively upon the situation, and the 1 hour time frame is the best to describe such. If you were buying in here, and technically I kind of did. I mean, I did buy once. I did buy once at the 35 handle and sold it at the 70. But if you were buying in here, then why? I mean, you kind of deserve to take the losses like this. That is, to me, not smart trading. But regardless of the fact, it is what it is, and to get a discount on what is already a phenomenal deal is amazing. And I think, I don't know how big game traders play, because when you look at the cost of trading, if you're like making like $100,000 million orders over and over and over again, and I know they're rare, but they can happen still, then that's a pretty decent amount with percentage moves. I don't know how they work with those types of plays. My biggest trade is, I don't think I've ever made a 5-digit trade ever on this in my life, actually. I think the biggest trade I've ever made probably was many thousands, but never 10. And I entered into POA because of the profits on the SYS. A normal starting amount, I mean, just a okay amount. Nowhere near $1,000, but noticeably a good chunk when you have lots of these types of plays, a few dozen. And that's what I like to do. I have like, oh, do I have this coin or not? Well, I have like probably 40, 50. I have a decent amount overall. So maybe, and I like to have a decent amount in case something like SYS happens yesterday, I happen to own it, then that gives me some trading availability and so on and so forth. So I entered into this coin, which was in a downtrend from, this case, May the 10th. So it participated in the April Fool's rally. Now what it did a little differently here, and I don't want to go much upon this, but I really do see that it started to break out April 23rd. 8 days before the April Fool's rally, but really that's pretty much when the entire crypto space went up. Some might have started the 2nd or 3rd, and of course this one started a good week earlier. And then May the 1st or so was the top, which is right in here. So it just had one more leg higher after that top, doing it a little bit earlier. We can see this bottom June 29th, and it really starts to get going, I guess you could say, June 30th, July 1st, and all that stuff. So is this participating in what might be the July 1st rally? And I really do say the word might be, because I'm seeing a little bit of evidence that we may be seeing a similar sort of deal where maybe for a period of time, whether it's like 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 8 months, I might doubt 8, but 4 months, or however long, markets will just pretty much be in a bull market across the board. And in cases like this, don't be surprised to see early movers and late movers. And last time this was an early mover, so maybe this would be the case. But I explained yesterday, my last video, how I played it. But I did enter into this position. This made this nice little move back to where it came from. And then I play it with my normal sellers. Now I'm crossing this against Binance, but it's pretty much all the same for me. I just like the extra volatility that coin would give me. And I want to finish this off with CMT, Cyber Miles, which I originally called Country Music Television because that's how I knew the acronym throughout the entire 1990s and into the 2000s, although I haven't watched that channel probably in over a decade or plus. I don't really watch much TV. Anyway, we have this code, which pretty decently up here. I was like, you know what, this is something that I like, but I realized as the market was going higher, I mean, this could be an April Fool's rally, and my plan as April 25th, 26th, and all these days were coming on was I really want to get into more coins, but I can't buy too many because I'm waiting for Bitcoin declines and such. And I really didn't buy much, but I did this. I realized that this down move could very easily happen. I did state that on my original time I ever put this video out. So I did experience this rally, but unfortunately was unable to, well, I never did participate in the profit taking. Well, I was able to, of course, but I didn't, which is fine. And then it goes down. I was participating in the buys on the way down, as I was stating, of course, in the video, because that's part of the strategy. And now, starting to go up. And I like this pattern right now, where we see how after moving down to 125 handle, even as low as 120-ish, 121, it's at 216. So it's had a very, very good run. And just this correctionary area was easy to buy at 135. So it has done well better than a 50% gain to this point. But it's looking as if it's going to make a move to this 26 handle at least, because we have this move that breaks above the 18, has a very good high volatile pause day. A pause day is when you have a big move on one period, and the next period it doesn't really make a new high or much of a new low or whatever case, it just stays within that area. And now it has had a green up day really, really close to previous high. So when you look at this on a single hour time frame, short term, it is very overextended. And as a trader, this is one of the hardest spots to make a prediction for where price is going to go. Realizing I can't count the prediction of just going sideways. Because what do you do as a trader here? Do you sell here? And if you look at, I'll show this more. Well, no, this is fine here. But if you sell here at 217 and you're looking to buy back at like 201, you can get close to a 10% play. If you're a short-term trader, then hey, you know what? That's pretty cool. And that's a somewhat common thing to occur when you get to an area of a key high, you have a decent correction, which it does on the single hour time frame, and then you go back to it. You've done so really quick, well overextended, and when markets go, they can continue to go. And even if you're thinking bullish, I don't care if it comes back here, because even if it does, it comes back, it breaks resistance. I'm looking for a next key level, and of course, I've already shown it on the daily term time frame. So I hate to guess here if it's going to have a decent move lower, which would basically be a touch of the 20 handle, and this is 20 cents actually. So this isn't Bitcoin, this is 20 cents. So a move to the 20 cent handle, or make a move to the 27. Let's now show this against the two other crossings, first Bitcoin. And same thing here when you look at this, although I got a fib line here, but same thing here on the single hour time frame, up to that general key area in here on the single hour. On the daily chart, just the same thing here, 2,000 Satoshi up to 3,000 and change. And now I don't have, what lines do I have? I haven't got any updated lines, but I'm not trading this against Bitcoin. I'm trading this against the Binance coin. And this is a daily chart. So therefore, if we do some Fibonacci here, we got a high in at Satoshi number 3682, or handle number I'll just use rather, 3682. If we look at the low in here, okay, I was going to move the thing over so I could just scroll quickly to this piece. 550 is the low. So there we have almost a 7 times X move. Key numbers. Well, we're at 115.48 now. So 1781. It's approaching the 1781. And of course I expect Pierce Extra. So that's where, and then Pierce Extra you would even think nicely even up to say, I would think that it's going to make a move up to 19, and it could do even extra, but this general area, a Pierce Extra again, this is totally in play for that. And for me, this is where, after I stop this tape, I'm going to notice where my sell order is, and then just, as I state, risk-reward portfolio management is always job number 1. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.